Hi there, hope you had a great day. Welcome to day 4 of our body reboot. I hope you're all doing really, really well. Just a quick recap on the last 3 days and what we've been talking about. Obviously energy, insulin, and yesterday we spoke about gut health and digestion. So, just make sure that's working. Okay, so gut health and digestion yesterday, and just wondered, has anybody managed to swap out their processed food, just one of the processed foods? How are you feeling about your gut health? Let's have a chat about that in the comments. But today we're going to be talking about hydration and inflammation. Like hydration, obviously you all gather, that's about hydrating yourself clearly with water. So you could drink black coffee, black tea, green tea, juices, what have you. Obviously the juices will have a sugar content. The coffee and the tea would have a caffeine content, and anything that your body has to process in any way, we're trying to reduce that. So we want to be able to give your body a break as often as possible, just so that it can get on with digesting and doing its little jobs and cleaning up and fixing cells and repairing muscles and everything else that it does. So if we can give it that opportunity every now and again and just give it plain water, that's what we need to do. Okay, so hydration is absolutely important, and it's a game changer in menopause, because in menopause, obviously, you may have experienced joint aches, headaches, obviously the stubborn weight gain, which is the bane of most of our lives. But if you are dehydrated, that actually makes it way worse. So let's talk about the different symptoms and how they are affected by a lack of hydration, a lack of fresh water. So you may find you suffer from hot flashes and night sweats if you make sure that you hydrate properly before you go to bed. So you have yourself a lovely glass of fresh water before you go to bed, half an hour before you go to bed, then obviously, go to the bathroom. Then you will find that just by that little bit of hydration in your body, it helps to regulate your body temperature. Aside from that, like in menopause, you may experience skin dryness and itchiness as well. And having extra moisture in your body from water will actually help alleviate that, and it can alleviate that. So brain fog is an issue, fatigue is an issue in menopause. There's so many, as we know. We said there's over 44 different symptoms that have actually been noted. There's probably others that are underlying. But so brain fog, fatigue, constipation, bloating, all of this can be alleviated if you just remember to hydrate. How much should you drink? 6 to 8 glasses a day, 2 liters of fresh water a day. Now, joint pain and inflammation is a big thing, and that often comes down to diet. And it's been researched and proven that certain foods are actually not helping you in this stage of your life, and they actually make inflammation worse. Now, dairy products have been shown to cause inflammation, whey products, inflammation. Even your cows, your sheep, in the field. Now, they always say you should eat grass-fed. Now, we all know once there's a label on something to do something, like let's have grass-fed beef, obviously there's a premium price to be paid for that. But the reason that is obviously it's costing the farmer that much more. But because those animals have not been pumped with so much hormone, they're not given grain, they're actually allowed to eat in the field, and obviously, the nutrition is then a lot more wholesome and a lot more organic. And as the animal eats that food, it's then transferred into their body. And then when you are eating that, then you are getting less inflammation. So things, even in bread, which we try to go for the gluten-free, but people are allergic to that. And people aren't only allergic to the gluten, which can cause inflammation. They're also allergic to the pesticides that are sprayed onto the wheat. And so it isn't always that people are actually allergic to wheat, it's the pesticides. So often you'll hear about people who will be living or holidaying in one country and they're able to eat certain food, and then when they move to a different country, they're unable to do that. And that is because the animals there are given different food, and also the grain and the wheat is sprayed with a different pesticide, and your body will find that obviously it will be sensitive to it. Some people's bodies, it doesn't worry. Some obviously find that it affects them quite badly. So ideally, if you are able to have grass-fed food, then that's grass-fed beef, then that's obviously ideal. So because less inflammation from all the different pesticides and what have you. Okay, so weight loss and cravings as well. If you find that you are a little bit dehydrated, often what will happen is you might say, oh, I'm feeling a little peckish. In fact, if you take a minute and think, all right, how much have I had actually to drink today? Oh, I've only had 2 glasses of water. All right, well, let me have a glass of water and then let me see how I feel. And I'd encourage you to do that. All too often, the signal to our brain is that our stomach is craving something, and we immediately think, oh, we must be hungry. A lot of the time, you're not actually hungry. Your body is thirsty. It's feeling dehydrated. So if you can, when you're feeling a bit of a craving or of food, just have yourself a glass of water and wait 10 minutes and then see how you feel. Obviously, if it's around lunchtime, probably you are hungry. But if it's in the middle of the day and it's a very warm day where you are, rather hydrate. You can't go wrong with hydrating, even if you do end up eating afterwards. Okay, so how much water do you need? Well, you know, everyone says 2 to 3 liters a day. Obviously, that depends on your age. It depends on how active you are, the environment that you are, that you live in, that you work in. If you are very active and you go to the gym or you're an athlete, clearly you will be needing more water to hydrate yourself. Interestingly enough as well, if you are someone who works in a very busy building and they have got the aircon pumped up high, you will also find that you will dehydrate. Your skin will be quite dry. You might find that you use hand cream quite often. And that's also because the air is so dry. Now, what I can suggest to you, if you can get like a little humidifier that you can plug in next to your desk, so at least your area stays slightly more should we say, I don't want to say like damp, but so the air is not as dry. You'll also find people that travel quite often, pilots, cabin attendants, people that spend a lot of time in an aircraft will also find that they may suffer from dry sinuses, dry skin, cracked lips, dry eyes even. And so just to be sure to always make sure you have a bottle of fresh water with you. Okay, so if you drink a lot of coffee and tea, you might also find that will also dehydrate you. So always remember, if you're going to have a lot of coffee, or let's say you drink 4 or 5 cups of coffee a day, for every coffee, have a glass of water. That's kind of like goes hand in hand. So, and I would suggest you have your water and then enjoy your coffee. So sip on your water and then sip on your coffee. Okay. So obviously if your body says I'm thirsty, then give it water whenever. I find actually having a glass of water next to my bed at night, often I might wake up in the middle of the night and my throat is super dry, and for some reason I was breathing through my mouth, and so then my throat is super dry, and so then obviously it makes total sense to have a glass of water next to your bed and you just have a couple of sips. Okay, so hydration obviously supports the weight loss and reduces the inflammation. So, and the easiest way to support weight loss without changing your diet is simply just to add a little bit more water. Now, why is that? And you'll be happy to know this. Everybody that's on the reboot to try and shift a few pounds here and there, I'll tell you what. First of all, water is going to reduce your cravings, your hunger cravings, because like I said, sometimes your body's actually thirsty, it's not actually hungry. So you're going to drink your water and then consider having your food. Water also helps to boost your metabolism. So it can actually be, it's researched and it's actually been proven to increase your calorie burn. So it will help to process more of the fat stores. Another good reason to have water. Water also will help obviously to flush out all your toxins. So it will help to reduce bloating. It'll help obviously to reduce constipation for people that suffer with that. Also, remember, when we spoke about what to eat for your gut. Fiber, very, very important. Fiber is great, but you do need to add some water to that to help the fiber to move the nutrients around about in your gut. You can't be just having loads of fiber and loads of food and there's no liquid in there, because obviously it's a pipeline from top to bottom and it does need to move things through. And how do we do that? With liquid. So you will find that you may find that you would get constipated and not feel very comfortable, and obviously then bloating occurs just because of lack of water. And how simple is it just to have a glass of water, right? So that's what you need to do. I would also encourage you to have a flask of water in the car, not a plastic bottle. Obviously, we all know that's not a great idea, but just a metal flask of water in your car. Top it up when you get home or when you go to the gym or wherever. But there's nothing better than a couple of sips while you wait at a traffic light. Have a few sips of water. Okay, so if you have been suffering with bloating and you haven't been feeling so comfortable, and with belly fat, the hydration is your way to go. All right, so your little task for today. Hey, Azelle, great to see you. Thanks for popping on. So your task today is actually going to be to increase your water intake. So if it means going and buying a new bottle of water, a new flask that you can keep in your car, whatever works for you. All right, so it's a great idea to make infused water. Now, you may have heard of it. You'll see on some of the pictures in the group. Literally fill up a jug with fresh water, and you can slice up any kind of fruit. Now, I will suggest citrus because that works the best. Sometimes things like strawberries and kiwis tend to go a little bit sludgy, but the nutrients will still be released into the water, as will the citrus. And then all the bits of fruit that aren't being used or aren't floating anymore sinks to the bottom. So when you pour it into your glass, you'll mostly just get the actual water. But if you get a bit of fruit on the way, it's also great. It's cooling and it's refreshing. It's antioxidant. All the fruits are absolutely brilliant. So you can have cucumber and mint. That's actually lovely. If you've got fresh mint, that's wonderful. Lemon and ginger, obviously fabulous. Lots of vitamin C's in there. We've got berries. You can throw in some basil even if you like. Ideally with the basil, you want to crush it before you put it into the water so that it can already start to infuse with the water. Things like watermelon, lime. Watermelon is one of those funny ones. That's like strawberry. It might go a bit weird, but we're not asking you to actually eat that. That will sink to the bottom, and then obviously just pour it into your glass. All right, so I drink loads of water, but I also have a product that I use every day. It's called Uplift. It's actually a natural energy drink. So in here, we've got loads of fruit. It's literally just a powder you just mix with the water. It's got everything from apple, it's got cherries, it's actually even got beetroot in here, it's got mango. It's actually a natural energy drink. It has got a little bit of sugar in it, but it's completely natural instead of all that other junk that comes in the tins, you know what I mean. When you turn it around, all those nutrients, you have no idea what all those things are. Probably 99% bad for you. This is 100% great for you. So if you want to know more about this, let me know. But otherwise, I want to encourage you just to throw some fruit in your water, put it overnight in the fridge, and then the next day, fill up your water bottle, fill up your glass. And what I found really works is to have water bottles in different rooms. Otherwise, you're having to walk back to the kitchen. So have a bottle next to your nightstand or a glass next to your bed. Have one in your office or wherever you do your work. Have one obviously in the kitchen handy. Don't make it so difficult that you have to go and find water, because I know it sounds easy. Oh, I'll just go get a glass of water. But sometimes we get busy and we don't. So find your favorite flask and fill it up and make sure you take it with you to the car. So remembering that hydration is one of the most powerful and the most simple things that you can do. You will feel fabulous for that. It certainly helps you from top to toe. We need water obviously to survive. So don't forget, if you can drop some of your pictures below, I'd love to see that. I don't know many people that don't like infused water, and you can always find a fruit that you do also like. Another idea is also whatever fruit you put in, just put a tiny little pinch of salt in. It's very good for electrolytes. So that's what I have to share with you today, all about inflammation and water intake. So please make sure you look after yourselves. Have a read through from the previous days. Go back to your intention. What would you like to achieve? Like whatever it is, you want to sleep better, you want to lose weight, you want to improve your diet, whatever it is, have a think about your intention and how you can obviously achieve that. And we can obviously chat about that. If there's something you need to know, drop it in the comments, send me a DM. Or no problem at all. And on that note, ladies, I'd like to say good night and enjoy the rest of your evening or wherever you are in the world. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Now, tomorrow we're going to be talking about sleep and stress management. Okay, so pop in tomorrow, same time, 6 p.m. my time. Eastern is 1 p.m. Eastern time. And wherever else you are in the world, I know you're all very smart. You can work out your time zones. Alrighty, lovely to see you all. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.